Hi, this is a video review of the video doorbell, and what does come in the package, the quick start guideline. They do send, and this is the actual item is called equipment, or they're referring to it as equipment, and its mounting bracket, which is this thing. It does come with this part, the receiver part, and then they do have security screws as well as a screw package. For me, that's what they show on the manual, except I didn't necessarily receive these differently. Everything came with one package. So I didn't receive the security screws and separately the other things. Everything was in the same package. I will say that to me this was a little not straightforward. The instructions were not as clear as I would have liked them, but I kind of did end up troubleshooting quite a bit, and this is sort of for this part, essentially how you can work with it. So the first thing I will say, yeah, this is what they include to orient ourselves to this particular part. This is what it is. This is an infrared, this is the lens, this is infrared, this is the lens, and they have light sensors as well, an indicator high speed speaker, which essentially is what the person pushes when they are wanting to talk to you. And I know that it has been kind of lighting red and lighting blue as we go. My take on this is that it may have it is by the infrared, it might detect motion, and that's why it might be reacting. So this it does have a speaker, and it does have as I mentioned, the button and then the indicator light. So we've seen it, and we'll see it as we go, that it does light. Now the other part, which is this one, I did find now is a little not clear, or not as clear as I would have liked this to be. Essentially, the first thing I'm going to do is open this, because it is where the batteries lie. In this particular manual that they sent, they do not mention it, but on the website they say you need to uncover the batteries for them to work. So it does come covered in this green thing. You need to take this out in order for the batteries to work. My understanding is that these are rechargeable batteries. With that comes this USB-C. No, it's not USB-C. It's it's an AC, let's say, power. So if I were, even without the batteries, if I were to plug this to directly to an AC, it actually will work. However, since we do have the batteries, I did, after removing the packet from the batteries, put it in power, or connected it to the power. I hope that it has now more than enough charge to work. It has displayed that it does, but I think anything else that comes with that tends to get a little confusing to me. I'm going to talk about the things that have been confusing and the things that have been working. So far, no matter what I didn't understand, this remains a very it's working fine. So I'm assuming some of these things are perhaps not for my use, or not really that important to me personally. But when we just flip this on its head, it does show the USB interface. As I said, they think of this as or they're mentioning this is an AC input. That's what I don't necessarily understand. There is a reset button here that you can press, and then the battery components, and then this end, essentially this is where the fused holes on here And then you have an AC input, what they're saying. Actually, I'm gonna, you know, they have you have an AC input hole here, and then yeah, they talk about security screw holes, which I'm imagining are these things. The 4 things that are here. I have not moved to my new place as of yet, so I'm not putting it together. But yeah, so they talk about the security screw hole. The reset button, if you press it for 5 seconds, it would restore factory settings. Now, one of the first things that I had to do, and I mentioned it in the installation guide, they say use the screws in the mounting kit to fit the bracket on the wall, and this would be this bracket, and these would be these screws, including the white part that actually include these numerous screws. There are 2 tiny screws. I have no idea where they go, and then there is 1 kind of larger screw, and they are these 2 things. My understanding at this point, as I mentioned, and it comes with, I guess, a tool to kind of screw things over, that these are the tools that we're gonna, or the screws that we're gonna use to attach the mounting bracket onto the wall, and anything else really, I have no idea what they do. So if anyone have any information, please do let me know. I did email the company, and I'm waiting for them to kind of give me some updates. So with that, we're talking about you know, just use the screws in the mounting kit to fit the bracket on the wall. So again, these are clear holes that we can use, and of course you want to screw it this way, so that way is exposed, so when you put this together it actually connects these parts here, and you know, giving it power. So you're gonna absolutely fix this to the wall like this. So essentially that's what it's gonna go. This is the thing, the side that will be facing you. And then here they do talk about the conductive screws, which I don't know what that is, but based on that image, I'm saying maybe that's what they are. Essentially, that the conductive screws in the accessories pack are used to connect the AC wire to the AC input hole. Again, I am not quite sure, because they say the AC input hole is this thing based on this image, and then perhaps this thing, and then that, you know, we're talking about AC wire, that I didn't get past that. I could not fully understand. And they, as you see, there are 5. One of the most important ones is after you actually put this together, and I'll show you in a second. There's another one that you screw so that this is you know, one piece essentially. After you fix this to the wall and you mount this on, you screw all of it together. That's why there's an additional screw on here. Now, the main thing you need to know is you need to install an app, and that app, you can either, you know, do any of this, but to me was just looking at xsh.cam, looked for it. I have an Android and downloaded it, and as soon as you get the app, you can start setting up and adding this camera. Now what that means is that through this, when someone actually rings your bell or, you know, knock on your door, your phone will automatically show what the camera actually sees. So you will be able to actually use, and I will share screenshots from the app, but you will be able to share what you can see, which is the other person, on your phone directly, and you will be able to speak to them as well, kind of through a microphone. So the most important thing is, of course, that you add that particular app, and then follow the instructions to add that particular device. And they do say that, like, you have the features: accept call, turn on, you can delete the camera. Now, in addition to these batteries, I don't know that that's mentioned really much anywhere, but this thing primarily, or it will work better, I will say, if you have an SD card that you can, let me see if we can do that, an SD card that you can mount somewhere here, essentially, so that then it can actually save, it has more room to save your pictures and videos. And the thing about that is, here, it does kind of show like where we can put it, which is really inside here. And the thing about that is that if you do not have that, you kind of have a cloud that it will enable you, I guess, to let me see where it says, but it'll keep a couple of pictures / one video maybe on that cloud until or unless you actually have an SD card and it can actually save more onto what it is that particular the doorbell was rang, who was there, etc. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of play with this a little bit and essentially put this back. I do want to mention real quick that I sort of thought that you take it out from here first. That was not the case. This is where you take it from, and they show you there's an open, so be careful so that you don't end up breaking anything. As it stands right now, I can go ahead and also affix this to each other, and it's not really easy to do it with one hand, but what I try to do is just match these top ones first to these top ones, and pretty much then it'll become easier to kind of put it together. And what you want to do once that happens, of course this piece will be on the wall, so you're gonna have to mount this the big part on the small part is you slide it to the front, and that's how you have a connecting piece. I'm gonna actually pause right now so that I can use both my hands to lock this together and be right back. So again, this is fixed at this point. All you need to do is screw this back here. It will not really close until you screw it up. And then you have this ready. And the other thing is, in particular, it's kind of getting colors, hoping that someone will talk to it, I guess. That this part is for this thing that you plug into your wall that can play music anytime someone actually rings your bell. And with that, I will say that they do have, or they indicate that they have a volume control, which essentially means that button, it says, it kind of is a volume icon. So once you press that, and you can kind of go up and down. It's not connected to the electricity, obviously, so we're not going to see anything right now. But then you can go up and down. If you do not press the volume button first and then just go up and down, this is how you select one of the, I guess, 30-something music that you would like to hear when your bell rings. And they do mention in the manual that this is something that you can either press, or they indicate that this is the music selection, but this is not pressable actually. You need to do it from the side. There's no other buttons on this thing except for this here. So now that this is done, one of the things that I want to do, perhaps even move to a place where I can plug this in, as well as demonstrate this. I'm going to use another video camera to capture things while I show you what happens with the screen once you get a call. This is a continuation of the review for the wireless doorbell. As you can see, this is the piece that would have been mounted on the wall outside of your door or your building. And then we connected this one again here. There are 3 buttons. I actually misspoke before. The first one will adjust the volume on and of itself. Right now, essentially, it is muted, but if you keep pressing it, it will go up and down. As you see, just keep pressing it, goes. The additional 2 buttons here are the ones that control what type of music you'd like. Alright, not my favorite, but for now it'll have to do. So let's say that someone comes in and presses, oh, I'm sorry. This is the app on the phone, and it shows what you can see. Could at any point in time really access that app on the phone, and it will show you what what video that you might be seeing. They do indicate here, if you can see SD video, that would be preferable, but I did want to show that you can pretty much play with it over here. You could speak to someone, even if they didn't. You can take a picture, or you can take a video. There are other settings that you can, the cloud storage is what I was mentioning earlier. So for now, this is what it is. Someone will come and they'll press the button to pretty much get our attention. And if your phone wasn't open on the app, it will open to you, and it will show you, who is there. And essentially, even though this thing is, here next to us, we can also play with it for a little bit. We can say take a picture, which is this button. I hope that yeah. So it'll take a picture for us. Snapshot captured, and then we'll also let's give it a time. Take a video for you. So now it's capturing the video of nothing happening. And then it will allow you to speak. So I am speaking to it through my phone to this thing that is attached outside of my building. So that is super cool, because you get to speak to whoever is out there as well, and it will appear on your phone. So that is a review of this pretty awesome, really, aside from confusion with regards to how to install it. Everything that it didn't really need, I guess, understanding from that perspective. It seems like it is pretty much you got set up. You got not only something in your home to receive the ringing whenever someone, but also you get this. And then my phone is, I can click the green thing and it will show me what it shows. And that's super cool. So it is working. I would assume that you would need to charge it every once in a while using the USB thing that we talked about here, the USB link to AC. They do not provide any cable for that, so you'd have to do that on your own. You'd have to get one of these cables. It kind of did work with I have tons of these particular cables, so it did really work with them. I mean, other than that, as you can see, it's super easy to use. It doesn't seem to need all the other stuff, unless I'm missing something, but so far, really, it is not only really, really great in the sense that Doorbell will not just get into ring inside my home, but if I was at home, that I can also check my mobile. I will get a notification, a call, or what seems like a call, and I get to see and speak to the person who had just arrived and give them any instruction that I need to do. And so with that, I will leave you guys. If you have any questions, I guess we should all ask someone who might know a little bit more about what they mean with regards to connecting the screws. But other than that, it seems like a fairly easy thing to use, as well as very efficient. I've been looking for something that can just get my attention not only when I'm home but also outside. So this is exactly what I'm looking for. And also for the security of your home, just really, if you can, if you hear a sound outside or something, you can just log in and look at your phone and what the camera's capturing, and get a sense of what's going on outside without having to risk yourself. I hope this was helpful. And I truly am liking it. I will see how it will go, for how long it will last in terms of batteries, but otherwise I'm pretty much convinced and sold, and I might get a couple more. Alrighty, hope that was helpful.